What's up? What's up, my beautiful, diverse American people? I'm going to continue with my policy driven by love and intelligence that I'm laying out for you guys. I mean, we've had people with concepts of policy, and I'm giving you the straight up policy and what I want to do. So, obviously, these are very preliminary. These are the foundation for these policies to grow from, but it's going to change a lot of things that we do. Before I continue, and you'll see it's been broken up into a few videos, and the full video is always on the YouTube Crazy and Impossible channel. But just in what I can only attribute to that love and connection that we all have, I want to send love to the gentleman whose painting you see behind me, Dan Marino, Hall of Fame quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, who's been going through liver disease for some time now, and he just came out and shared his message with all of us. So I want to send my love and prayers to Dan Marino and his family, and we hope and pray for your recovery. I know what a good man you are. I know what great things you've done in South Florida and for the community. So from the bottom of my heart, I wish you the best, sir. I wish you the best. Getting back to what I sincerely believe is policy driven by love and intelligence that I'm laying out for you guys to literally make the decision. If you guys want a president who is one of you, president who is directly out of we the people, a president who has lived the American struggle, who is an entrepreneur, who is talented, who's a lot like what the founding fathers were. Just talented, regular men who took on the biggest army on the planet to create their nation solely built on freedom. That's it. There were no other intentions. There were no other desires than to build a nation on freedom so that you could live your life how you want it. So, getting back to policy, and one of the main issues that has created the environment that we're living in, where the presidency is literally purchased. I'm gonna come hard for the monopolies. Remember Monopoly, that game that we played as a kid? The idea was to teach us the horrors and the bad thing a monopoly is, where the goal of the game was for one person to wipe everybody off the board, building your monopoly. We were supposed to learn that that is not what we should aspire to, but that is what we became. A handful of corporations and companies and people that own everything. So, breaking up monopolies and putting industry and business back in the hands of we the people is what I think is the driving force behind our prosperity. And that's why in the previous video, I really want to focus on building a small business administration that is about small business, not about small businesses who have 200 employees like the criminal syndicate did the first time during COVID that wiped out 300,000 small businesses, affecting more than 600,000 families, if not a million, that were making a living connected to these small businesses. So I want a small business administration that is truly for small business. Welcome, guys. I see you coming out. God bless you all. I love every single one of you. Van, Dayton, Eugene, Drew, Harry. I love you guys. I love every single one of you, bro. And I thank you. I thank you for coming in and just giving me a few minutes of your time to hear this old, poor, damaged, patriotic American who loves every single one of you and knows that we the people can do better. That knows that we the people deserve a president who is one of us. We've had career politicians, corrupt billionaires, entertainment take the biggest office, but we've never had one of us. We've never had a regular American, someone who comes directly out of we the people, from not knowing how your bills are going to be paid to making decisions that empower Americans and drive innovation, which is what made America great. So busting monopolies and returning individual ownership of business, of corporations, will go a long way to building from the bottom up. Like you have to build a house. Like you have to build a building. Cannot build a building from the top down like the trickle-down nonsense suggests. You can't. You build from the bottom up. Every strong structure, the Acropolis, the structures, the pyramids that have survived have been built from the bottom up. And that's how I'm going to build our country. So we know that the next president coming in, yeah, it is their business, their objective to destroy small business. I know that. I was one of those. They've been doing that since the first administration. And I'm going to end that. That's the whole point of a reimagined small business administration. So thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you noticed that. They are trying to destroy small business. And in that destroying and busting up monopolies, social media, and I know, and I'm sorry, and that this might get me banned, but one company cannot own 4, 5, 6 social media platforms. It's just not democracy. It's too easy for the messages to be whitewashed because there's one overriding owner. So that is going to be a first thing that we'll do. Break up the social media monopolies. And that will extend into the mass media monopolies. There used to be independent TV stations across the country, each saying their message for their communities. That isn't the case anymore. Media is owned by the oligarchy. You're not going to get the truth. You're going to get what they want you to hear. So platforms like these, which may be on its last days, are the ones, and even this platform, my message does not get spread as it should. It doesn't. The oligarchy doesn't want independent voices, doesn't want the words of Americans who know we can do better. And we, the people, can do better. So busting up those monopolies will be a featured part of my administration. And another big one that, again, we got to go back to Reagan. And this was what opened the door to the vast proliferation of ignorance and hatred, which is, I'm going to reinstate the truth doctrine. Media outlets will not be able to spew lies malevolently. There will be a truth doctrine that they're going to have to abide by, just like it was before Reagan came in and created that bullshit. Yeah, look at that. I know. Miami, a house was $50,000, $30,000. When we got to Miami in 1968, all right, my mom bought 2 houses. Not legally because she couldn't buy them, but for my godfather and for my uncle. She gave $100 down payments for both of those houses. Because white people just wanted to get out of Miami. There were too many Cubans coming in. So, yeah, greed has changed that. That's solely greed. So, yeah, ownership, home ownership is a big focus. Like I said, the Small Business Administration, reimagining, putting power back into you to run your business, to open your business, to start your business, to expand. Your small business will help, will be a big part of increased home ownership. So, all these things tie together. I'm glad you guys are listening, and that is exactly what we need to change. They're not going to go down to $50,000. Okay, forget it. You're not going to buy a house for $50,000. But making it affordable is the key. Making it that there are resources for you to afford it. And empower you to own your home. To grow your business. Which we don't have anymore. So, reinstating the truth doctrine will go a long way to cleaning up the ignorance and hatred. This young man who tragically, unnecessarily lost his life, the guy who did it said that it was because of the ignorance and hatred that he was spreading. There was no other reason. No matter what the guy is, no matter who he is, the reason he did it was to stop the ignorance and hatred that this man was spewing. It's terrible. It's terrible that someone lost their lives for speaking. But let's not ignore the fact that this young man was funded by old, white, greedy, pedophile-protecting sexual predators to go out and infect young Americans, young white Americans, with ignorance and hatred. With the ignorance and hatred that they need for their malevolent agendas. Frank, Lavin, Antonio, welcome guys. I love you. I love every one of you. Larry, user 381, I love you. Lucas, Wilkie, I love all of you guys, bro. I love the message, the idea of we the people and a nation built on freedom. That's why I do this. It's the only reason I can give myself. So let's get back. Let's get back to more of these policies. I'm going to sign an executive order on day 1 to dismantle Citizens United. No more corporations making huge donations. If corporations want to get their voices heard, do it by, instead of donating those millions to political figures and to political campaigns, pay your employees more. Pay them more. Elevate their lives. And they're going to follow the political agendas that you support because you're paying them more. But if you're not paying your employees, and then making $1 billion donation to make sure that they continue to earn little, you're not doing the work of the American people. So we're going to change that. And dismantling Citizens United is the poison pill to corporate ownership of the presidency. We're going to put it back in the people. So, ending Citizens United will force these corporations who are making these huge donations to these malevolent people, they're going to have to pay their employees more. Imagine that. They're going to have to pay their employees more if they want their employees to vote for what they want. They're not going to be able to do it as one giant entity to voice their, to nullify what the real workers want. So implementing the fairness doctrine in lending. And there are going to have to be some thresholds, and it's going to have to be balanced. But I don't like the idea that just because you are wealthy, you get to pay less for loans. Doesn't make sense. We're going to initiate loan programs for the people with the least to be able to grow their businesses, to buy a house. So lending practices will be changed. This is big, all right? Because at some point along the way, we decided as a nation that it would be a good idea to profit off of educating our own people. And that's what got us here. That's what created the hatred, the resentment for intelligence, the hatred for people who think, and grew ignorance and hatred. So that is not something that we want to continue. That idea that we're going to profit off of educating our own doesn't make any sense. Makes sense for those profiting off it. And that's why I say the universities who have had decades upon decades of federal funding, of profits, we're going to redirect their funding to empowering humanity. And that I detailed in one of the previous videos. So, and the Department of Education, which they want to shut down, I don't want to shut it down at all. I want to reimagine it. I want to re-empower it. And it will be empowered by the Patriot Billionaire Fairness Act that will tax billionaires, and the Religious Empowerment Act, which will tax churches. And funding from those two streams will go to fully fund public schools, will go to fully fund teachers to where their salaries give them the life that they need, and so that they don't have to use their own money to buy the things that the children they teach need. We're going to empower education, not destroy it. I know it goes against what you've been taught to believe. It goes against the indoctrination that wealth and intelligence go together, when in fact they don't. Because the secret of tyranny is ignorance. The secret of freedom is education. Maximilian Ribisserie. Those aren't my words. So a reimagined Department of Education that fully funds public education, that fully funds teachers and makes them into the leaders that we need, and elevates education in the nation overall, will go a long way to ending the practice of ignorance and hatred. We're not going to allow 30-somethings to go out and infect the minds of young Americans, because as far as I know, that's grooming. That's grooming. It has always been grooming of youth by 30-somethings spewing ignorance and hatred. I don't see any other way. I don't see it as anything else. So I'm going to say it again. Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be killed. He did not deserve to lose his life. In a nation built on freedom, hate speech is protected. Pam Bondi came out spewing hate messages about hate message. Her message against hate messages was a hate message in itself, because we are a nation of freedom, and freedom of speech is protected. But that's our Constitution that protects it, not theirs, which is Project 2025. Our Constitution protects free speech, not what they want to impose as a constitution. Hey, there he is, our buddy TOSKJ. His entire vocabulary is Trump, or Trump with exclamation points. I love you, brother. I love TOSJKJ. I love you, brother. I love you. And thank you for coming in. You're a regular. So you're hearing my words. You're hearing. Oh, he had to go. He had to go, guys. Did you buy a dictionary? I love you, brother. El Trump. All right, he's speaking in Spanish now. God bless you, brother. Diversity, see? I love that. So we're going to raise teacher pay across the country, across the board. No more teachers struggling just to pay their rent. And because they love your kids, because they love what they do, because they want to educate children. So I'll say it again. Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be killed. No one in a free nation deserves to be killed for saying what you say, whatever it is. Be it ignorant, be it hate, be it love, be it intelligence. It doesn't matter. You do not deserve to die for expressing your thoughts. And political violence is cowardness. That's all it is. Because that says I cannot deal with you with my words, so I have to use lead. Because this guy that killed Charlie Kirk, had he come up to the podium and asked to speak, he could have expressed everything on his mind and told Charlie Kirk exactly what he thought of him, using his words. And I'm sure that would have probably resonated much more positively than using your ignorance and hatred against somebody. Yeah, Theo, go ahead, Papi, go ahead. Look, he's trying to use a different language that he knows nothing about. It's okay, Papa. I love you anyway. So again, Charlie Kirk did not deserve to die. Political violence is solely cowardice. That's all it is. And there's no place for it in this country. There's a memorial coming up for him, which, in my opinion, should be a solemn and respected event, not a pulpit to spread ignorance and hatred. But that's exactly what it's going to be. Instead of a small, solemn, family-only, friends-only ceremony, that's not what they want. They want to market this. They want to create a mass of humanity that spreads and supports the messages that this guy was spreading of ignorance and hatred. So it should be respected. It should be a solemn. But, the attendance itself, I think, will be a big indicator on where we are as a nation. If there is a big overflow crowd there, it tells you that ignorance and hatred is large and in charge. If there is a small turnout, it says that love still has a chance. That we still have a chance through love and intelligence, we the people can return our nation to the founding fathers' vision of freedom. This one, this first day executive order is going to piss a lot of you off. I know it's going to, especially Tio Papi here, Tio little, one word man. The water's a fish tank, buddy. I can't shut it off. It's an 80-gallon fish tank that are my baby, so I can't shut it off. I'm sorry. Sorry if it's a little distracting. I'll try to speak louder so you don't hear the water. But those are my fish. Those are my babies. And I love you. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. But like I said, let me get back to this one, because this is gonna piss some of you off. I know it's gonna piss you off, but I don't give a fuck. This will be a day one executive order. And that is to change the name of our house. I'm gonna end this presumption or this idea or this ignorance that the name of the White House means that it's because it's owned by white people, or it refers to whiteness, or it is for white. I'm going to end that. So the name of the White House will be changed to America's House. It will forever be known as America's House, as your house, because you own it, not the occupants. We the people own that house. So it needs to reflect that it's owned by we the people. And I thought of, maybe the people's house, but that sounds too communist and too, right-wing ignorant shit. So America's House is what I decided. Our house will be called America's House. America's House. Because it belongs to all of us. And in one of the videos, I said it's our house. It's our house. So why can't we just evict the occupant? I said we need a lawyer with cojones to draw up eviction papers, and I have no doubt we'll get over 1 million signatures to evict them. Abel, what's up, brother? God bless you guys. I love you. I love every single one of you. So, changing the name from the White House to America's House will go a long way to ending the whiteness, the ignorance surrounding the name, that, some may think that it's the White House because it belongs to the white people and the white people's house. That's it. It's over. America's House will be its name moving forward. That's it. I'm going to leave it there. I have more policies driven by love and intelligence. But this last one is just a question, something that kind of hit me, and I want to ask you guys. Because obviously there's been a change. There's been a shift. So I want to ask you, someone who instructs young people to kill liberals. Is that someone you support? Is that someone that MAGA can get behind? Someone who spreads ignorance and hatred and instructs young people to go out and commit heinous, horrible murders against liberals. How do you feel about someone who does that? And that someone that I'm talking about is Charles Manson. Charles Manson didn't physically kill anybody. His words, his messages of ignorance and hatred led people to commit murder, heinous crimes against liberals, people of Hollywood, people who love. So how do you feel? How does MAGA feel about Charles Manson today? Is he a hero? Because he killed liberals? Because he spread hatred and ignorance? Not too dissimilar from what Charlie Kirk was spreading. To who Charlie Kirk was spreading it on a larger scale. Because he had white rich men funding him to go out and spread ignorance and hatred. These universities don't let you go there for free. So how do they feel about Charles Manson? I really, want to know. I'm curious. Because this guy did the same thing. He spewed ignorance and hatred, and he got young people to go out and commit murders. I want to know. I really would like to know. Because he can't have it both ways. Can't support one and not the other. Because they literally did the same thing. So I want to know. I love you. I love every one of you. I love you. My name is George Delara, and I want to be your next president. I'm not a billionaire, not a millionaire, not a politician. I'm not a Democrat, not a Republican, not a libertarian, not a communist, not a socialist, not a Marxist. Just a fucking American. How about that? How about we elect an American? A regular, middle of the road, just like you. Someone who's had every struggle you've had. Who's had to face end of the month bills. Who's had to face addictions. Who's had to face poverty. Who's had to face unemployment. Who's had to face homelessness. Who's had to face businesses being destroyed by other people, not by you. Not by anything you did. Having your business not be able to get that funding that you needed, that you know will make your business explode. Someone like you, not someone who fell ass backwards into wealth, declared themselves geniuses, and then had the funding to buy the American presidency. Let's change that. Let's show that we the people are the rightful masters, like Abraham Lincoln said. Like Abraham Lincoln warned when he said the people are the rightful masters of both the courts and the Congress, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who would pervert our Constitution. And we see a daily perversion, because that's what lawyers do. He said he needed a lawyer to tell him if his job was to protect the Constitution. Because I love lawyers. Some of my best friends are lawyers. Some of my best friends' sons are lawyers. But a lawyer's job is to disturb, pervert, distort, and pervert laws for the benefit of their clients. What am I lying about, trash man? What am I lying about? Freedom and democracy? That the Founding Fathers' vision was solely on freedom? Is that what I'm lying about? That Charlie Kirk spewed ignorance and hatred and did not deserve to be killed for it? Is that the lie? Elaborate. One word doesn't say shit. One word just shows beta boy barking. Use your words, big boy. You're obviously a trash master. Well, Raphael, Mike, love you guys. Sandy, God bless you. Ralph, we the people, brother. We the people are the rightful masters. Abraham Lincoln said it best. And I want to be your next president, the first since Abraham Lincoln to come directly out of We the People. I know we can do better. I dream about doing better for you, the American people. I said in a previous video, I dreamed that we were making Puerto Rico the 51st state, and that we were buying Cuba to make it the 52nd state, and control all that southeastern United States, create a natural defense border for the entire southeastern United States by making Cuba the 52nd state and Puerto Rico the 51st state. Crazy and impossible. It says it. You see it up there. Everything I say, everything I want is crazy and impossible. To even think that a brown, poor, moderately educated, moderately talented, bilingual, multilingual man, poor man, could ever rise to the presidency of the United States. What's up, Mike? Passing through, my brother. God bless you, brother. Thank you. I love that. Because that's what we're doing. We're passing through this. We're passing through this golden age of ignorance and hatred for humanity. Because it can't be described any other way. And we'll get through it. We'll get through it. Founding fathers built a nation to overcome. The three separate equal branches of government were with intent. They wanted judges to stop a dictatorial president. That's the point of it. So to you judges, remember, we the people, when you make your decisions, your job is to protect all of us. Not a handful. We the people are the masters of this nation. And we need to flex that. We need to flex the power and strength of our diversity. And you ladies are the linchpin, because you are who they're after more. Yeah, we're the browns are, the brown people and the immigrants are the face. We are the bullseye. But you are the underlying target that they fear most. Our beautiful ladies. Now I said I was raised by alpha women. My cabinet will be comprised of alpha women. Because we need to change in directions. Old white rich men got us here. Their greed, their ignorance, their hatred created this separation where only a handful have all the wealth, own everything, and everybody else funds them. We're going to change that. We the people, I love you. I love every single one of you. I love every single one of you. And I love the idea that America was built on. The freedom that the founding fathers risked everything for against the biggest army in the world. That's what this is. This is a crazy and impossible. One voice, one brown, damaged, moderately intelligent, moderately talented, moderately successful man, brown, Latino man who wants to be your next president, wants to be your best president, wants to be the first president who is directly like you, directly out of we the people. I can't do it. Takes you guys. And again, thank you guys. We've reached over 1 million people just with you guys, just with these little videos, just you guys sharing the words of independent, passionate Americans who know we deserve better, who know we can do better. So please share my words, share my videos, Crazy and Impossible. It's on every platform. At least I'm trying to be on as many platforms as I can to get you to decide what kind of president you want. Do you want another corrupt billionaire? Do you want another career politician? Do you want another lawyer? Or do you want, for the first time in our history, one of you, one of us? A regular, real American. Middle of the road. Someone who comes from the middle. God bless you. God bless the American people. I love you. I love every one of you. I don't care your color. I don't care where you came from. I don't care how you got in the country. I care that you love this country. That's all that matters, guys. That's all that matters. And I'm going to make sure that we are that shining beacon of freedom and democracy that the founding fathers envisioned when they took on the biggest army on the planet. And I may be doing the same thing. This small group of talented men that you guys know who you are. You guys know who you are. That support my words, that know what I'm saying is right, that love, above all, were the same group that wrote that Declaration of Independence. Small group of talented, patriotic individuals who wrote a letter, a Dear John letter to King George and told him, brother, you ain't right. We don't want that shit. We want freedom. And here we are. Having to protect that freedom from tyranny, just like they warned. Because when they put against all foes, foreign and domestic, and that they knew this day was coming. That's why they put we the people bigger than everything else. That's why they named their nation the United States of America. Writers would have named it the Christian states, the Anglo states, the Protestant states, if those were their intentions. They were not. In fact, they went out of the way to keep religion out of their government. We the people. I love you. Lo quiero, lo adoro. I speak multiple languages. I know 6 computer languages. I'm not going to take that as a crutch. Le hablo en español, le hablo en inglés, parlez-vous français, sprechen Sie Deutsch. I will love everyone. And we need a president directly out of we the people. Got more to learn, simp? We all have more to learn. Who doesn't? If you think you know it all, if you think you have all the answers, if you think you're the only one, you're a fucking moron. So yeah, we all need to learn, of course. Of course I need to learn. We all need to learn. We all need to do better. We all need to be better. And disassociate ignorance and hatred from our lives. We all need to learn. We all need to be better. And that's all I'm asking you. What do you want? What kind of president do you want? Simple question. Do you want a career billionaire? A corrupt billionaire? A career politician? A lawyer? Or do you want, for the first time ever, to have someone who, by DNA, represents every single one of you? Because I'm black, white, Latino, Native, European, African, Middle Eastern, Iberian, Caribbean, African, South American, Central American. It's all in my blood. I'll post my DNA. What do you want? I love you, folks. We need to end this ignorance and hatred. We need to stop unaliving each other because of our words, because of our passion. No matter what it is. That hatred Charlie was spewing, that's protected. It's protected by the Constitution. Flag burning is protected. The beauty of America, and I say this often and people don't get it, but I think the beauty of America is that you get to be as big a fucking moron, as big a fucking racist, as ignorant and as stupid as you want. In freedom, that's the beauty of freedom, that's the beauty of America. Now, if your ignorance and your hatred and your nonsense infringes on the rights of other free Americans, then you're in the wrong. That's not freedom. God bless you guys. I love you. I always go way longer than I want. I'll break this up and post it. God bless the American people. God bless America. Let's become that shining beacon of freedom and democracy that the Founding Fathers envisioned. They put stuff in that document, and I'm sure not all of them agreed. Assigning percentages to human beings was not something that I'm sure all of them wanted, but because the document itself is democratic, they had to make compromises. And that is proof of our democracy right there. I love you. We the people. Crazy and impossible. This is crazy. This is crazy and impossible. And thank you for sharing my crazy and impossible love for my country. God bless you guys.